5 career suspensions, 171 technical fouls, 20 flagrant fouls, 19 ejections, and $1.4 million paid in fines. Draymond Green's resume speaks for itself.
How much damage has he done? He's done a lot.
Never seen that before on the basketball court in the NBA game. I hope Draymond gets the help he needs.
You know, he's been known for flagrant fouls in his career. I've watched him on TV my whole life, it feels like.
This man has caused havoc in basketball for years, collecting a number of victims along the way, and sometimes even his own teammates.
The altercation against the Clippers when y'all were playing, did that play a role in you leaving Golden State?
Yeah, for sure.
Guys don't go around punching guys. That relationship is not repairable.
But how did this kid from Saginaw, Michigan become the player that is the most hated in the NBA world? Was Draymond Green always the problem?
Game time! Game time! Game time!
Product of Saginaw, Michigan, it shapes who we are. Something about being raised here that it gives you that certain tenacity about you, that certain killer instinct.
It's a tough, challenging community, and you have to think about the social economic background of the kids and the parents and General Motors leaving here, and people just have become tough, and we're used to tough times.
In the rough city of Saginaw, Michigan, people like Lamar Woodley and Charles Rogers became beacons of hope in the community, especially to someone like Draymond Green, who was quickly becoming a basketball star with big plans for his career.
Day was in high school, he talked about he was going to go to the league, and it didn't surprise us because he's always had that type of work ethic and that his attitude.
You could tell that, you know, if he continued to prove, because he pretty much can do anything on the court, he can play any position on the court, and you could pretty much tell that if he continued to prove, continue to work hard, that he was going to be a special player.
The city that raised Draymond to be tough believed in him and saw him as the next guy that could make it big from the city, especially after bringing Saginaw High School a lot of success on the basketball court.
The state title is now yours.
Oh yes, I mean, it's a great feeling. You know, I've been dreaming this since a child. I played AAU with Coach Dawkins. He told us we would win a state championship when we get to Saginaw High. We got here and we did it. But it was all because of hard work.
And it was also the hard work of Draymond Green that got him into his dream school to play basketball, Michigan State. It was hard not to root for the kid. He came up from a rough city, worked to earn a spot on the D1 college basketball roster, and had dreams to make the league. He just played harder than everyone else on the court. Young Day has something to prove.
We got to send players play, tough players win, PPTPW. So, you know, it's something that I always live by, and I think, you know, toughness, anytime you got some toughness, you can make it through some things.
Over the course of his 4-year college basketball career, Draymond Green continued to build that same reputation as a player who gives it everything and plays hard. He contributed in all facets to the game, especially on defense where he made his most impact. By his senior year, he was solidified as MSU's best player and helped them win the Big Ten tournament while being crowned as tournament MVP. And with that being a successful conclusion to his 4 years at Michigan State, he was ready for the NBA draft process to become the next man to make it big from Saginaw, Michigan.
Whatever a team needs me to play, if a team needs me to play the 3, I can play the 3. Team needs me to play the 4, I can play the 4. I'll probably play both. You know, I don't really like saying am I a 3 or am I a 4, I'm just a basketball player. You know, if it's a word that I use to describe myself and I'm asked to describe myself, you know, a winner is one word that I would use.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Just on the NBA team, hopefully with a couple world championships under my belt and just keep on improving as an NBA player.
Early on in the draft process, despite having lower stock, Draymond Green caught the interest of a specific team, and that would be the team to pick him in the second round.
With the 35th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Draymond Green.
So I knew I had a pretty good workout when I came here, and Coach Izzo kept telling me, I've been talking to the Warriors a lot. Well, he was just telling me, like, you know, look out for the Warriors. I think they're going to get you. I think Golden State will be a great fit for me. You know, the style of play they play. You know, bringing in a new coach last year, you bringing in new guys. You know, I want to be a part of that bunch that changed that organization back around.
The Warriors have found themselves a passionate player in Draymond Green who is determined to help them turn things around. And that passion quickly showed as he got his first NBA basket and his first technical foul immediately after. Just a sign of things to come.
And it's a 3, and he gets a tossing technical after he makes the shot.
The passion that Draymond played with had its strengths and it had its weaknesses, which is something that Golden State would only continue to find out. As Draymond had his good moments,
down to 3. Inside the lane, Draymond Green with 9/10 left.
and he had his bad moments.
23. Now the Rockets going for the record, and it gets a little bit chippy Patrick Beverly tries to hit the three-pointer, fouled by Draymond Green.
But for the most part, his rookie season was quiet, only playing in 13 minutes per game and making one start. However, after David Lee went down with a season-ending injury in the first game of the playoffs against Denver, Draymond had to step in and play more minutes. Across games 2 and 3, Draymond somehow managed to record 11 fouls in 33 minutes of play, including fouling out of game 3 in just 15 minutes. But in game 4, he contributed well with 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals in an important win going up 3-1 in the series. But with game 5, things would get more chippy between these teams. Bogut picked up a flagrant foul in the first half and Draymond Green got one in the second half. The Nuggets forced the game 6 with their win, but they were very frustrated about how the Warriors have been playing. Kenneth Faried said, "They've been hitting me and pushing me and shoving me the whole series. I've been hitting the throat, got my hair pulled a couple of times, and I don't say much." And George Karl added a statement of his own saying, "Draymond Green, did he play football or basketball in Michigan State?" But in game 6, the Warriors would have the last laugh in the physical series.
Miller. It's a three from Andre Miller. It's tapped away by Thompson, picked up by Lawson. That's it. Golden State will advance. Golden State goes to the second round.
The young Warriors would face the San Antonio Spurs in the second round, though, where they were just simply outmatched, ultimately falling in 6 games. Draymond Green's rookie season had come to an end, where he showed a lot of value and showed his tenacity on the court, which in a few cases had already gotten him into some trouble. Early on in the next season, just 14 games in, Draymond Green would get his second career ejection for his involvement in a skirmish between the Warriors and Blazers. Draymond Green didn't actually initiate anything, but simply stood up for those wearing the same jersey as him. There was really no reason for this ejection, but a month later, he completely earned his third career ejection.
We're looking at this right now to see if there was, you see the elbow there by Draymond Green.
To the left of your screen, there's a shot right there. I mean, that's right to the throat. That's contact.
An act that was simply uncalled for. Throwing his elbow straight into Blake Griffin would earn Draymond Green a flagrant 2, an ejection from the game, later including a $15,000 fine for not leaving the court immediately. The referees also ejected Blake Griffin from the game, which the NBA deemed a day later to be the wrong decision. And after the game, Griffin said that the Warriors were playing cowardly basketball and the refs fell for it. But this would start off a mini rivalry between these two teams, as they would face off again in the first round of the 2014 playoffs. In a 7-game series, Draymond's aggressive play style led to him fouling out of 2 games and him racking up another 5 fouls in 3 others. Ultimately, the Clippers advanced in 7, even after a great 24-point performance from Green in that game 7. The season afterward, though, Draymond Green kept his name out of controversy and instead had a career year, helping the Warriors to a massive 67-win season. He led the Warriors to the #1 defense in the NBA, made first team all defense, and finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting behind Kawhi Leonard. But Draymond was doing a great job controlling himself and his emotions during this season. He did rack up 15 technical fouls over the course of the year, but he avoided a lot of potential conflicts when he knew how much his team needed him.
I was able to knock a few shots down early. And well, it caught me by surprise. I bumped and looked. And I looked again, just kind of curious, did he do it on purpose or not? Then I see the replay of it where he looked at me and started back talking, then look at me again out the corner of his eye and walk right into me. I think he wanted a reaction from me, but he don't play. So me getting suspended and him getting suspended, it's different. He got some camera time, which he needed.
Draymond was aware of how important he was to this team, and he thought about that before giving any reactions. Keeping this same mindset in the playoffs was huge for him as well after the 67-win season, as through the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, Golden State would only lose in 3 games before reaching the NBA Finals to face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. And it was here that Draymond would get his first NBA championship in just year 3 of his NBA career as a crucial player on the team to win it in 6, including a triple-double in the closeout game.
Draymond Green, a guy who slips to the second round, completes this championship with a triple-double. Can you describe how valuable that young guy was?
His emotion, his heart, he brings it every night. He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of anybody. He's one of the toughest competitors I've ever played with. And, he's so big to this team. And it doesn't even show up in the box score every night, just his toughness and grit. It trickles down for Draymond. So, man, we couldn't have done this without him. And he has one of the brightest futures in the NBA.
We world champions, and we did it, and it's our league, and we run this, and we did it for the Bay, and we're going to do it again for the Bay. Klay Thompson, yup. Splash Brothers, yup. Cavaliers, nope. We won, yup. They suck, yup. We here, yup. They not, nope.
Draymond Green had left off the previous season as an NBA champion, telling the fans that they're gonna do it again, but they definitely were not expecting this kind of start to 2016.
On the run, and behind his back. Rebounding this year. Lob to his ceiling! Steph down the lane and putting it in!
Goes right by him.
And Steph, the little mini flip dunk. And they just watched the MVP bury a 26-footer to give the Warriors the lead again. This was the highest one.
Probing, keeping the basketball and his handle alive. You're asking a 7-footer to defend.
Lob is hammered home. He drops the sledgehammer. Curry putting moves on Durant through the double, able to beat Durant and score.
The Golden State Warriors started this season on record-setting pace, and they would finish it on that same pace with the record-setting 73 wins in a single season, the most ever. Draymond received a second-team All-NBA appearance, first-team All-Defensive appearance, and his first All-Star appearance, as well as finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting to Kawhi Leonard once again. But after playing such a clean 2015 playoffs, Draymond received a flagrant 1 foul in just the third game of the playoffs against Houston after tackling Michael Beasley to the floor at the end of the game for no reason whatsoever. And this would become cause for concern because over the course of the postseason, if a player racks up 4 flagrant points, they will automatically gain a 1-game suspension, with a flagrant 1 being 1 point and a flagrant 2 being 2 points. As a vital piece to the team, this is why he had to control himself for the rest of the playoffs, but he didn't. But hold on, because Draymond Green got a statement for us.
You guys need to know about NordVPN.
Yeah, Draymond, I use NordVPN too. What you like about it?
Man, I don't like when I can't watch my shows because of my location, so I change it with NordVPN.
That's right, Dre. Using NordVPN, if something you want to see is blocked in your location, you can use NordVPN to change your location to many different places around the world. But NordVPN is more than just a VPN.
It is?
Yes, Dre. They can help you stay safe online with all the dangers that being online brings. It's important to protect all your accounts with strong passwords, and with NordPass, which is their password manager, you can generate strong passwords that will secure your accounts and passwords from the dangers of security breaches and hackers.
I like NordVPN.
I know you do, Draymond, and I do as well. And you can get a huge discount plus an extra 4 months for free with every 2-year plan purchase. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all purchases, so it's completely risk-free. You can get your exclusive NordVPN deal using the link in the description and pinned comment. And thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video.
Thanks, Nord.
Yes, Draymond, but let's get back to your story because you got a championship to win.
Putting a move on Adams. And he is fouled.
And down goes Adams once again. More throughout the first 3 games of this Western Conference Finals.
It's the leg, guys. Watch the leg.
Oh my God.
The follow through on the foot gets you in trouble every time.
And that's the second time that Green.
Worried about potential suspension for the flagrant?
No, I thought it would probably get rescinded. I followed through on a shot, like not trying to kick somebody in the men's section. I'm sure he wanted to have kids one day. I'm not trying to end that on the basketball court. That don't make sense, you know, so I brought the ball over the top this way. He fouled me. My leg went up. I mean, I know my court not strong enough to stop my leg halfway from wherever it was going. Like, I didn't know I hit him.
Would you be stunned, or would you think it's unfair if the NBA does look at that as a possible suspension?
Oh, I would think they would rescind it. I mean, no, honestly, I mean, stuff like that happens all the time.
Ironically enough, the recent time that something similar happened before was when Draymond kneed Steven Adams in the exact same area just the game before. But while the Warriors were caught up in their delusion that the flagrant 1 would be rescinded, the league reviewed the call and they upgraded it to a flagrant 2. This now meant that if Draymond Green received 1 more flagrant foul for the rest of the postseason, whether it be a flagrant 1 or 2, he would be suspended for an entire game. For the rest of the Western Conference Finals, Draymond Green kept his cool and played his part in a huge 3-1 comeback against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook's OKC Thunder, which meant that they were now right back in the NBA Finals against that same Cleveland Cavaliers team from the year before. Golden State took home Game 1 to kick off the series, and in Game 2, it was the Draymond Green game.
Green up to Bogut. Bogut's tip misses. Bogut's second tip no good, and Green right there on the foul. West as Green hits a three. Draymond Green's second three-pointer. He's got 12 points. Puts it in. Draymond Green lighting it up. He's got 15. Finds Green. Layup is good. Draymond Green for three. Puts it in. Shot clock at 4. Green again.
You know, Coach actually texted me last night. He said, hey, this is a great series for you. Take your rhythm shots when they're there. Step up and knock them down.
With their backs against the wall in Game 3, Cleveland came out fighting for their season. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving combined for 62 points and a huge 30-point win to defend their home court. But they would need to defend it even more for a chance against this Golden State team. And in Game 4, things were close going into the fourth quarter, but as the Warriors began to pull away, things got chippy and words would be said.
He takes a little swing that misses after he objected to James stepping over him. The conversation continues, the bumping and shoving, and there's the double foul call by Danny Crawford. Double foul does not result in any free throws. Obviously, each player picks up a personal. One flagrant foul and 2 technicals away from being suspended.
James and Curry having words.
LeBron, you had words with Draymond and Steph. What kind of got you going, and what were you saying to them?
Nothing that get me going. You know, Draymond just, you know, he said something that I don't agree with. Some of the words that came out of his mouth was a little bit overboard. You know, and being a guy with pride, a guy with 3 kids and a family and things of that nature, just some things that go overboard, and that's where he took it. So.
Anything with Steph?
Nah, that was that conversation was a competitive conversation. I'm okay with that.
For Golden State, news that came down on Sunday, this incident late in Game 4. The league reviewed it, and they have on Sunday assessed a flagrant 1 to Draymond Green, meaning he will be suspended without pay for Game 5 due to a 4th flagrant foul point of the playoffs. James was assessed a technical foul.
And the Warriors' worst nightmare with Draymond Green had come true. After accumulating 3 flagrant points through the course of the playoffs, they all knew that one mistake was all it took. He made that one mistake after swiping at LeBron James twice during the continuation of a play. But the impact left with the absence of Draymond Green in Game 5 just could not be understated. The Warriors were 23 points more efficient having Draymond on the court in those finals, and now they would have to play Game 5 without that. And the Warriors struggled in that Game 5 defensively without the man who made their defensive identity what it was. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving scored 41 apiece, becoming the first pair of teammates to ever score 40 apiece in an NBA Finals game. The Cavs now had the series 3-2, heading back to Cleveland for Game 6, where Draymond made his first statement since getting suspended.
I have strong belief that if I play Game 5, we win. But I didn't because I put myself in a situation where I wasn't able to play. I let my teammates down, you know, not being in the game, you know, regardless of whether I want to jump and say, oh man, it wasn't that much, or whether someone else want to, you know, have an opinion and say, oh, it wasn't that much. At this point, it don't matter anymore. You know, we lost Game 5, we're here for Game 6.
But in that Game 6, the Cavs dominated from the jump with momentum on their side and an energized crowd.
It releases, and Curry has to back off as James throws it down. Irving fakes, drives, James on the throwdown. Tries again, connects, James. Thompson running and finishing. And Shumpert, J.R. Smith throws it up. Alley-oop to Thompson.
Cleveland maintained their lead, and by the final buzzer ended Game 6 with a 14-point lead, a huge win to force a Game 7 back at Oracle, where one of the greatest games of all time would be played as the Warriors tried to overcome the momentum that Cleveland had built ever since the suspension of Draymond.
Pulls up 15-footer, tough shot by Irving. Curry had that steal, but it slipped through his hands. James, a two-handed slam. Keep it moving. Green for 3.
And Draymond's wide open, takes another 3. 5 for 5. Wow.
makes this quick move, stops underneath, layup is good.
Draymond Green has 21 points. Kyrie Irving guarded by Curry.
Kyrie Irving knocks down a three. Irving having a huge third quarter.
Curry with a 3-on-3. Bounce pass. Livingston to the rim. Right hand slam.
Oh, blocked by James. 60 seconds to go. We're tied at 89. Here we go. Irving's picked up by Steph Curry. 6 to shoot. He's at the right point. He stutter steps. He launches a three. It's over. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
I mean, it sucks. Obviously, you hate to lose. We had a 3-1 lead, so you think about all that stuff. You think about, what if? What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? All that stuff replay in your head, but got to give them a lot of credit. They were down 3-1. They continued to battle.
When you talked about lessons to learn from and also your character being unfairly attacked, when you look back at what happened at the end of Game 4, do you look at that as something where you need to learn from what you did, or do you think that was a situation where your character was unfairly attacked?
Like I said, regardless if it's unfairly attacked or attacked, I really don't care. I put myself in a position, like I said before, for it to be attacked. And that's what I learned. Don't put yourself in a position. If you don't put yourself in a position, it won't be attacked. So, I didn't say unfairly attacked, unfairly attacked because I don't feel it was unfairly attacked. Like I said, I put myself in that position. And once you put yourself in that position, everything goes then, so. But like I said, I learned from it, and that's the most important thing to me.
The Warriors' 73-win season ultimately ended in disappointment, but they would recover from this loss less than a month later with one of the most controversial free agency signings in NBA history.
Stephen A., the news again coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors. How are you viewing this move from Durant?
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar.
Of course, behind the scenes, Draymond Green did a lot of talking with Durant to try and recruit him, which he admitted to.
It wasn't like I was calling him every day recruiting him because I couldn't at that point. But once July 1st hit, I did. I had sent out so many texts to him over those last 3 days that I'm not sure the exact amount of number. I can't even give you a ballpark. I just know it was probably too many. So I was told that there were people from the Thunder that were mad that me and KD were talking. I don't know where the report came from, but it came from somewhere. And to be honest with you, I really don't care where it came from. And if we were talking, we were.
If the Golden State Warriors weren't already hated enough with Draymond Green, they certainly were now as the NBA's next super team, which now meant that this team would constantly be under the spotlight, including anything that Draymond did. And as always, he had his fair share of incidents in that season. He kicked it off with this play early in December.
Second overtime clock at 2:15. Durant, three, no. Anderson couldn't get it from Green. Livingston grabs the ball, and a whistle and a foul.
It's not the right arm. Look at the left elbow, right to the beard chin.
And just a game later, Marquise Chris became a victim of Draymond's antics and dirty flailing as he got kicked in the fingers, and he actually ended up dislocating them from that play. In January, Green received a flagrant foul after aggressively running into LeBron James on a fast break. Definitely some sole contact by LeBron James, but still not a basketball play to put your shoulder into someone running down the court. Green got into another incident with James Harden in April where he retaliated being pinched by Harden with a punch to James Harden's injured wrist. After the game, Draymond said, "He punched me, so I punched his wrist. That's pretty much it." He does it often actually, which is kind of adolescent, but whatever. Regardless of being pinched or not though, he has to be aware of Harden having an injury on that same wrist that he's swinging at. But it's not like he would be concerned about that anyway. Even with everything that went on though, the Warriors still played great basketball, winning 67 games, and this would finally be the year that Draymond Green would break through and win that Defensive Player of the Year trophy after consecutive years being the runner-up. But for Golden State, the goal always remained the same. The NBA championship was their one and only concern, and they absolutely cruised to the NBA Finals with this super team roster, not losing a single game in the West on their way there. Before playing in the NBA Finals against Cleveland and LeBron James for the third time though, Draymond had a chance to look back on the mistake that he felt cost them a title in 2016.
If I played, we win, of course. So I do feel it's my fault that we lost.
You feel it's your fault?
Absolutely my fault. But I don't feel wrong for what I did at all.
But in this series and playoff run as a whole, there were no moments where he acted out to put himself in these situations to pick up any flagrant fouls. The Warriors went up 3-0 in the series, and in Game 4, Draymond had a slight situation where he fouled Shumpert after a jump ball, and then he acted shocked afterwards, receiving a technical foul. But it was only his third technical foul of the playoffs. The Cavs did need a historic performance though in that Game 4 to pull out a win over Golden State, and they would not get that same history in Game 5 as the Warriors prevailed, winning another NBA title, making it Draymond's second in 5 years.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Just on the NBA team, hopefully with a couple world championships under my belt, and just keep on improving as an NBA player.
And this was the result. After the disappointing end to 2016, Draymond Green vowed to learn from his mistakes that he felt cost his team an NBA championship, and he understood what needed to be done.
But like I said, I learned from it, and that's the most important thing to me.
Draymond Green and his great friend controversy got started very early in the season in October as him and Bradley Beal got tied up, and it caused a pretty decent scuffle.
Well, let's see. Draymond's at the baseline. Oh, what was that? He got wrapped around the neck. I don't know whether he took an elbow first. Let's see.
On the other side right there.
Yeah, I caught Draymond coming out of the locker room. I asked him about the incident and what happened with him. He said, look, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when you get hit twice. He said, how am I supposed to react? He said, you're taught as a kid not to let somebody just pound on you, not once, but twice.
Past this, Green didn't have any major incidents over the entire year. It seemed he had grown to the point that as long as he wasn't messed with first, he would stay out of trouble. But just 2 games into the playoffs, he would be asking for trouble as he slung Davis batons to the ground.
No, that's Draymond Green.
Man, Green,
that's Draymond Green.
Another scenario of definite soul contact, but also another uncalled for action by Draymond Green, which got him a flagrant 1 foul already to start the 2018 playoffs.
Draymond has to be so much more careful. You can't go off like this on teams. You got 3 more, and you're going to miss an important game being at the Western Conference Final or in the NBA Finals if you guys happen to get there, and that's going to be a detriment to your team.
And Draymond Green continued to walk on a thin line. Only 1 minute into the Western Conference Finals, he shoved James Harden for no reason whatsoever, getting a technical foul. And in Game 4, he flailed out his leg to draw a foul that could have easily hit Chris Paul, but luckily for him it didn't. Either way, the Warriors moved on to 7 games, and Draymond survived the series without getting another flagrant point going into the finals for Cavs-Warriors Part 4. Tensions would be high in Game 1, where Draymond Green poked LeBron James in the eye with a careless contest towards the end of the first half, and then he had the nerve to, of course, complain about the call.
Right in the face. But what are you arguing about? That's my question. That's a foul. Are you asking what is Draymond Green arguing about? Yeah, that's a foul. He argues all the time.
For the rest of this game, James will be playing with a bloody eye, delivering an absolute masterclass, but ultimately falling short in overtime. And at the end of overtime, Tristan Thompson would be ejected from the game, resulting in him and Draymond having a little back and forth before he left the court, which Draymond described as
nothing.
And for the Warriors, the rest of that series would also be nothing as they swept this Cleveland Cavaliers team, claiming a 3rd championship in the last 4 years. They looked completely unstoppable with Kevin Durant, and it seemed like they would be having a ring for every finger on their hand with him continuing to play on this team. But with Draymond Green, there was trouble brewing in paradise.
I'm Dennis O'Donnell. Here's the latest in Bay Area sports. The Warriors have suspended Draymond Green for tonight's game against the Atlanta Hawks after Green got into a post-game argument with Kevin Durant following last night's loss to the Clippers in LA. The dispute started at the end of regulation when Draymond pushed the ball up the court, which upset Durant because he wanted to take the final shot. Instead, Draymond fell down and time expired. The two then spent the ensuing timeout going back and forth before eventually having to be separated. But that was not the end of it. Things got even more heated in the locker room. Durant stormed out without speaking to reporters, and clearly it escalated enough for Draymond Green to be suspended tonight.
They go towards the bench, and Kevin Durant was like, I was asking for the ball. Why didn't you give me the ball, et cetera, et cetera. And Draymond Green just went off, started cussing him out. In the process of Draymond Green going off, he brought up Kevin Durant's contract. And that's where it really, really crossed the line.
What was said in the locker room was so bad that all the team and all the coaching staff and everyone decided that, hey, he needs to be suspended.
How do you characterize how things are with you and Draymond?
Don't ask me about that again.
Draymond Green was suspended by the Warriors for conduct detrimental to the team, and the report was that Draymond told KD, "You're a bitch, and you know you're a bitch. We don't need you. We won without you. Leave." And Green was unapologetic about what he said.
Draymond still hadn't apologized. Draymond still was of the mindset he didn't do anything wrong. He did handle the suspension like a professional, but he didn't back up from his position one bit. He believes he's right. He doesn't believe he did anything wrong. And because of that, you never know what kind of fallout this can be.
So when people say these type of things to you during an altercation, a lot of it sticks. And the tongue is a powerful instrument, as we all know. And you can tell that KD's clearly still bothered by all of that scenario.
With Kevin Durant having the ability to exercise his player option to become a free agent in the offseason, this whole scenario made Golden State very concerned about their future having Durant, which was the reason for the quick suspension of Draymond. But as hard as they pushed for these two to repair their relationship, it ended exactly how they feared that offseason after a finals loss that saw Durant tearing his Achilles.
Breaking news on the Jump Free Agency Special. Oh yes, nobody is waiting till 6 o'clock Eastern. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kevin Durant is in fact headed to Brooklyn to join Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan.
A lot was made about the altercation against the Clippers when y'all were playing, and folks even alluded to that playing somewhat of a role in you electing to walk away from Golden State and go to Brooklyn. Speak to that at all, the relationship you had with Draymond Green. Speak to whether or not that had any impact whatsoever in your decision to leave Golden State.
Yeah, I wish that wouldn't have happened. I feel like that was a situation that definitely could have been avoided. It really came out of nowhere. Draymond knew that he was out of line, and as men, we talked about it, and everybody around tried to get us to mend it fast because of the season, and we wanted to win, but he had his process on how he wanted to handle things, and I respected that, and I had my process.
Did that play a role in you leaving Golden State?
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Durant had admittedly stated that this incident with Draymond Green back in November was a factor in his departure off to Brooklyn, and now the Warriors would have to deal with the consequences of that departure. While the Warriors didn't lose KD entirely for nothing receiving D'Angelo Russell from Brooklyn in a signing trade, they were still huge losers of this offseason because in the game they got eliminated during the finals, Klay Thompson suffered that ACL tear. Half of their Big Four super team from the last 3 years were now unavailable to them. It was just Curry and Draymond, with D'Angelo Russell being added to the mix. The Warriors saw themselves fall from heavy favorites year in and year out to now just having the 8th best odds to win the championship coming into the season. But after Steph Curry broke his hand just 4 games into the season, it was already done for Golden State.
It's devastating. It's devastating. The season's over. Let's just call it what it is. The season's over.
And saying it was over would be correct. Draymond Green and D'Angelo Russell couldn't get the job done at all, and the Warriors later moved Russell for Andrew Wiggins. They finished with the worst record in the league, the worst offense, and a bottom 5 defense in the shortened NBA season due to the COVID shutdown. Draymond Green being out of the spotlight for once didn't initiate any serious altercations that season, but he had his typical technical fouls with 14 of them in just 43 games somehow. Golden State was rewarded with the 2nd overall pick for this terrible season, getting James Wiseman, but what they were most excited about was getting back Steph Curry and Klay Thompson after a year of such unfortunate injuries. But it would only continue.
Worst possible news for the Warriors. Klay Thompson has suffered a full tear of his right Achilles. He will miss the entire season. He missed last season with an ACL tear in his left knee. This is his right Achilles, but he had the imaging today in Southern California. And Klay Thompson, now you're looking at a 8 to 10 month rehab he will miss the entire season.
Another major injury and another setback for the Golden State Warriors meant it would be a tough season for them. However, it did mean more opportunity for young guys like Jordan Poole and James Wiseman that they wanted to develop. It was also a season of the usual Draymond antics. Against the Clippers, he committed a hard mid-air foul on Kawhi Leonard, which resulted in a scary fall with him already having to wear a mask. Leonard was, of course, unhappy with what Draymond did, and the referees gave Green a flagrant 1 for his reckless contest. He also picked up 12 technical fouls in his first 33 games, getting on average a technical foul every 3 games, but Draymond wasn't really worried about that.
Have I ever got suspended for technical fouls?
You always seem to
probably won't happen again.
After an MVP level season from Steph Curry, the Warriors made their way into the play-in tournament where they faced the LA Lakers. Draymond Green contributed everywhere but scoring with 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals, and another LeBron James eye poke. But LeBron remained unfazed because at the end of the day, he aimed for the one in the middle.
James, 2 defenders on him to Caldwell Pope inside. He's tied up by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the 3. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown!
After, Draymond finger to the eye, I was literally seeing three rims out there. So I just shot at the middle one.
It seemed that Draymond Green had somehow in some way cost his team again, but it wouldn't end there. They had one more shot at the playoffs with the young Grizzlies in their way, but after the game went down to the wire, it was Draymond Green with the opportunity to send Golden State to the playoffs.
5 seconds remaining. Curry makes his moves, finds Green. Green drives down the lane, the floater's up, no good, overtime.
They went on to ultimately lose in overtime, ending another season without Kevin Durant missing the postseason. But the Warriors weren't ready to say this dynasty was over just yet.
Don't want to see us next year.
We got a lot more hell to cause. A lot.
The 2 leaders of the Golden State Warriors left off the last season on 2 statements that could be interpreted in different ways. Either you don't want to see them because you might be the next victim of Draymond, or you don't want to see them for basketball reasons. It was the latter.
We all disrespected Golden State over the summer.
Who?
Well, no, all of us. Lakers gonna be in the championship. Brooklyn's gonna be in the championship. Everybody forgot about Golden State.
The Warriors might win it all. I really mean it. I'm not playing with anybody.
The Golden State Warriors looked convincing, and people realized that they were back. Although, as usual, Draymond Green had his fair share of antics where he clotheslined Austin Rivers, shoved Kristaps Porzingis, and threw a mean elbow at Justin Holiday to pick up 3 flagrant fouls that season to go along with his 18 technical fouls. Truly some WWE superstar numbers from Draymond. But the Golden State Warriors entered the playoffs as the 3 seed taking on the Denver Nuggets. This was a series that they dominated, winning in 5 games with a big part of that being Draymond's stellar defense on the MVP Nikola Jokic, allowing the Warriors to play a small ball death lineup. Advancing into round 2 though, they would see a familiar face, the same Memphis team that ended their playoff hopes just a year ago. And this will be a series that got so chippy to the point that it kickstarted a new rivalry in the NBA.
And Anderson picks it back up.
Clark inside is fouled.
Signal they're going to look at it.
That's going to be a flagrant.
No, yep, I agree.
James Williams told him that. And Steve Kerr's reaction.
Yep, he's going back to the locker room.
Draymond Green has been ejected for the windup to the face, impact to the face, the follow through to the jersey, and the throw down to the ground.
He's been known for flagrant fouls in his career. I've watched him on TV my whole life, it feels like, so I wasn't really shocked.
Once again, Draymond found himself in trouble. A flagrant 2, meaning 2 flagrant points this early into the playoffs, 2 away from the same 1-game suspension that he felt cost him and his team in the championship back in 2016. But this play seemed to figuratively set the tone for what this series continued to have in store.
Golden State still looking to crack the seal. Payton right down the middle, he's fouled hard. And Payton's in pain. It was right at the end. Morant grabbed him initially, then Brooks got there late with the swipe, and he clubbed him on the side of the head.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it was dirty. But there's a code in this league. There's a code that players follow, where you never put a guy's season/career in jeopardy by taking somebody out in midair.
Somehow in this series, a new guy on the block, Dillon Brooks, managed to out-Draymond himself. In Game 6, he shoved Curry to the ground with another dirty play, getting his second flagrant foul of the series, and that would be it for the series, as the Warriors took down the Grizzlies, heading to the Western Conference Finals. Here, they would outmatch the Mavericks in just 5 games, advancing to their 6th Finals appearance since 2015, this time against Boston. In this series, Draymond got into it with a bunch of guys, Jaylen Brown in Game 2, Grant Williams in Game 3, and then he really tested the Celtics and referees' patience in Game 5, antagonizing Jason Tatum to the bench. But Green never did enough to get himself in any further trouble, and with that, he get to celebrate winning his 4th NBA championship, arguably the sweetest one for him yet.
But we did what we do. Welcome back to the Warriors Invitational, baby. That's what we do. Welcome back.
The Golden State Warriors were officially back, but there would be trouble in paradise once again with Draymond Green, all because of the words, an expensive backpack.
Golden State Warriors all-star Draymond Green threw a punch at his teammate Jordan Poole at practice on Wednesday, as first reported by The Athletic, confirmed by ESPN. The two players had been verbally sparring prior to some pushing, which escalated when Green took a swing and made contact with Poole. Sources said team officials reviewing the altercation for possible disciplinary action.
You hear the story and you go, okay, they had some kind of dust up, right?
Yeah.
Then you see the video, and then that changes everything, right? You see the video, and you go, man, it's a bad look. It's a bad look for everybody. I felt bad for Jordan Poole. I felt bad for Dre putting himself in that position. So it's just a bad look all around. Nothing good comes out of that.
Guys get in heated discussions all the time. In practice, in the game, we've seen that. Guys don't go around punching guys. And we gave the story, I think it was Chicago, Skip, with Meritage and Bobby Portis. What happened? Somebody had to go.
During that practice, Draymond Green and Jordan Poole started talking back and forth, but after Jordan Poole called Draymond an expensive backpack for 30, implying that Curry had carried Draymond his whole career, he got set off. After the video released, Green went on a PR tour, dropping his own version of a YouTuber apology video.
I think you're initially upset, pissed off, which is why you have the reaction you have. The world has been able to see one of your worst moments. Look at all the upsides you have now. And it's a totally different way of looking at it. Like, the world has seen one of your worst moments. Look at the upside, and I can live with that.
That season just did not feel the same in Golden State. They finished as the 6th seed in the conference and were one of the worst teams in the league on the road. Some speculated that it was because of the team having to be around each other more when traveling, which brought out the declined team chemistry. But regardless if that was the case or not, this team was definitely impacted by the Draymond Green and Jordan Poole incident. But with their first round series against the 3-seed Sacramento Kings, Draymond Green committed one of his dirtiest acts yet in Game 2.
And Curry's got the board. Green gets tied up. And a technical has been assessed. Sabonis is down.
Let me say this. Draymond stepped on him. As he goes down, watch him grab Draymond right there. Now, that right there.
So that's it for Draymond Green. He's done.
I gotta land my foot somewhere. And I'm not the most flexible person, so it's not stretching that far.
As a result of this play, Sabonis suffered a bruised sternum, which he would have to play through for the rest of the series. Another unreasonable act for Draymond Green, getting a guy hurt. The Warriors did advance to the second round of the playoffs to face off against the Lakers after that 7-game series, but the run would end there in the second round to the Lakers.
Are you still playing if that stuff with Jordan Poole didn't happen early in the season?
I absolutely think so, because I still think the fact of the matter is it's going to be hard. I don't really think anyone could beat us.
Draymond Green showed another example of taking accountability like always, but at some point the mistakes just have to be put to an end. All these apologies mean nothing when you keep repeating the same actions.
Working on Wiggins, little step back 3. And so we're scoreless. We'll stay 0-0 the first 2 minutes. And then look at Klay Thompson and McDaniels. What is going on with that? Wow. You've got a full-on fracas going on.
Every team has an enforcer, and the Warriors have Draymond.
The reason Draymond went so demonstrably is that Gobert had Klay in a headlock.
Yeah.
And Draymond's not feeling that at all.
So he's just pulling him off.
So Jaden McDaniel's been ejected. Klay Thompson's been ejected. Draymond has been ejected. And Draymond was called for a flagrant foul.
And I do hope, though, that the league is going to do what needs to be done. Yeah, that's just clown behavior.
Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. The NBA is suspending Warriors forward Draymond Green for 5 games following his altercation Tuesday night with Wolves center Rudy Gobert.
The league called Draymond Green's headlock/choke on Rudy Gobert a dangerous maneuver on the court, but also the league again acknowledged Draymond Green's history.
I'm a little surprised. I thought 3-4. I mean, 5 is in the reasonable range. It's higher than I thought. But look, the league is sending a message. They're tired of this. They're tired of it. I think some people within the Warriors are tired of it too. I mean, it's like Draymond is a great player, Hall of Famer, a genius on the court. But this stuff has reached its endpoint.
Green, just such a great passer.
Fields has picked up his 3rd foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul, and they're going to take a look at this. Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be a flagrant.
Yeah.
Unnecessary and excessive contact to the face. The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2, and Green has been ejected from the game.
What's going on with him, I don't know. Personally, I feel like that brother needed help. I'm glad he not tried to choke me, but at the same time, it had nothing to do with basketball, man.
Yeah, that was insane to see. Glad Nurk is all right. Never seen that before on a basketball court in an NBA game. I hope Draymond gets the help he needs.
The Warriors, I think they are certainly bracing for the fact that they're going to be without Draymond Green again, and certainly maybe for an extended period.
Significant news in the NBA. Not surprising, Draymond Green has been suspended. What is interesting, indefinitely is where we are after striking Sun center Jusuf Nurkic in the face in Tuesday night's game. The league announced tonight.
This is not about Draymond Green. This is about player safety. Playing on the court, getting choked out, Rudy Gobert getting stomped on by Sabonis, Jordan Poole getting snuffed randomly by a cheap shot.
The NBA has had enough of Draymond Green. Altercation after altercation and years of doing the same things repeatedly, seeming to never learn from anything he does, despite taking accountability each time saying, "I'm sorry." But "I'm sorry" means nothing when you continue to make the same mistakes. He has nobody but himself to blame for the reputation that he has built. And now Draymond Green has come out and said that he had a conversation with Adam Silver about retiring. And you know what, Draymond? For the safety of every player in this league, maybe you should. And I have the perfect recommendation for your next chapter.
Well done! Well done, motherfucker! Well done, motherfucker! Oh, shit!
A few moments later.
And that's how to rock into Draymond Green's second career.